My prediction for the England game against Denmark on Thursday is 2-0 to England. I think it'll be another clean sheet, and I think Harry Kane will get off the mark for the tournament. And I also think Bukayo Saka, who was very good in that first game, will score as well. I think, another clean sheet. England able to kind of take advantage of the fact that they are the superior team on paper, and I think England will go to a comfortable 2-0 and win that game. Yeah, looking ahead to Denmark on Thursday, I didn't see anything from their game in the first round of fixtures that really concerned me. I actually thought the first game would be possibly the toughest in England's group, and I stand by that. Obviously, England coming off the back of a 1-0 win. I think the key man for this game will be Jude Bellingham again. I think, he was absolutely wonderful in the first game, showed what he's all about, particularly in that first 20 minutes, the desire he showed to get on the end of that cross and score that goal. There's no point looking at it any other way now. He is England's best player, and he is one of the best players in Europe at the moment, so there's no doubt that Jude Bellingham will be the key man again. I liked everything about his performance on Sunday, and I'd expect to see more of the same on Thursday. I think the mindset of the England players going into Denmark will be good. Look, they're off the back of a win. The most important thing you can do is win your first group game, and England have done that. And I think when you listen to the players speak, I think they're aware that there's always going to be noise around them, but I think what they're very good at under Southgate is blocking out that noise, sticking together. And I think if you listen to all of them speak through the week, I think they'll feel very, very positive going into this second game, and see this second game as a chance to get qualified early, and then maybe in the third game they can get other players to get minutes under their belt so that they're all ready and all fighting fit.
We have won against England before, and only 3 years ago we won 1-0 at Wembley in a friendly match, and of course we played 1-1 in the game at the Euros and lost on the late penalty 2-1. So we have had some very close matches, and I think that Gareth Southgate and the Danish coach is called Hjulmand. Both of them cannot afford to lose the game. So I think both of them will be happy with a draw. So I think that this game can end up being a draw, a little bit boring game, maybe a 1-1, something like that. Denmark has to consider that the English players are very good. England have so many good players in the squad, in the midfield, in the defense line, and also, of course, the attackers. So they're gonna find a way how to shut down Jude Bellingham. That's gonna be a difficult assignment for the Danish midfielders.
I think they will win 3 or 4-1.
My prediction for the Spain game is 2-2.
A good result for them will be a draw from there, and I do think that is what they'll get out of it. I'm delighted to be leading the leaderboard after the first round of matches of Euro 2024. Hopefully, with any luck, I'll be able to repeat the feat for round 2 for Serbia-Slovenia. It was topping the table on the back of the Slovenia-Denmark 1-1 draw. For that particular game, the reason I picked that particular result was, I think Slovenia, we've seen them in qualifying against Denmark. There were two sides very experienced against each other. We'd seen the 1-1 draw in Ljubljana, 2-1 in Copenhagen. So it was sort of splitting the difference really with it being a neutral venue. On top of that, I feel really we've seen Denmark over the past 6-7 months since that game regress a little bit. I didn't fancy their chances of actually winning this game. And I do feel, and I continue to feel, that a lot of people have really underrated Slovenia for this tournament. And hopefully, I think, as we've seen from the performance against the Danes, they may be a side that develop into dark horses in this particular tournament. A lot of the talk pre-tournament from the camp was very much about building themselves up in sharpness to peak at the right time in Germany. And I'm expecting that isn't going to be in the first game. It'll be in the second or third games as we go. It's great to know that I have some sort of Nostradamus prediction in me. I have been reading in the Serbian media that they have been getting predictions from someone in the country who claims to be related to Nostradamus. Well, they need to come here. Let's put it that way, I think. And I'm hoping very much that I'll be able to match the feat in match day 2.
I expect Spain against Italy to be the great game that we are all hoping it is. It's two of the best teams in Europe. The team lineup that I predict for the game against Italy on the side of Spain is pretty similar to the one that we saw against Croatia. It's probably the biggest game, and Croatia was the second biggest one. So I think it's going to be the best lineup that he can have for the game against Italy. I think Spain will be playing on attack, as they always do. And Italy has proven that they can not only defend, but also be able to respond. I think Spain needs to do their homework on defense. They were good, but they can be better. I think it's one of the most equal rivalries that you can get in these Europes. Therefore, I expect not only a great game, but also a tie result. My wacky prediction is that Carvajal is going to score again, and that will make 3 games in a row that he scores after scoring in the final of the Champions League, the first game of the Euros, and potentially again against Italy in the second game of the Euros. I think the first goal will be from Spain. I'm gonna say Nick Williams. And this is a bold prediction, but yeah, why not? And I think the final score will be 3-2 to Spain.
My thoughts on the Spain game are pretty positive, to be honest, especially seeing Italy's last game. You had the feeling that a few minutes in the game, they were super comfortable on the ball and that they were going to turn things around. Finally, they went with a backline of 4 and with Fratesi and Barella and Chiesa all in the front. So that caused a lot of problems for Albania. And I'm expecting more of this, a much more direct style than they usually do. So they went out to look for the goal, which surprised Croatia quite a bit. I think it will be quite a dynamic game that will go from end to end. I'm expecting Italy to take the game. And then it will depend, without sounding too cliche, on moments of brilliance of the creative three up front with Fratesi, Barella, especially looking at the backline as well. After that shaky goal, they had things quite under control. So we saw Bastoni, Calafiori, very solid center back. And Calafiori, big talent, of course, had a great season with Bologna, qualified for the Champions League. My prediction for the Spain game is 2-2. I'm expecting the game to be pretty open, with both teams having a lot of creative players, a lot of attacking players. Spain to score first, Italy to react. Chiesa was a bit unlucky to not score last time. I'm expecting a goal from Chiesa, and I'm expecting another goal from Scamacca. I think one of the crosses, maybe from Di Marco, will find Scamacca's head, and he'll be just too powerful for the Spanish centre-backs.
And this is my famous goal celebration. Can you copy it?
You see me now? So he was like pointing there, coming there, doing this. Oh, and then turning around like that.
I have to predict we're going to see a red card in this one. Serbia were quite physical against England, quite easy to rile up. If things don't go their way, they are capable of losing their heads. I think we can see Slovenia benefit from that, and that's why I am going for a Slovenia 2-1 win. As you can imagine, after a positive first result, the mood in the Slovenian camp is pretty high. Not as high as it could have been. I think certainly in that particular game, with the dominance that they had late on, they were in a position where they really could have potentially pressed for a full 3 points and, have one step in the knockout rounds of the tournament already. As such, we're not expecting really there to be much in the way of changes when it comes to the game against Serbia. Slovenia are a very structured side, very tactically consistent, and it's difficult to see what changes they could make that would really produce much of an improvement from the Denmark game. It will mainly be a case of freshening up cogs as and when needed. I think we may see a couple of different players from the bench. So we didn't see Josip Ilicic against the Danes. I think against Serbia probably will be a perfect game for us to see him at least for 20 minutes or so to be able to cause some havoc between the lines. I think Slovenia, as a very organised opposition, are the sort of side that Serbia are naturally going to have a bit of trouble breaking down, which really makes for quite an intriguing matchup. It is arguably the most structured side in Euro 24 in Slovenia against the most freewheeling side that Euro 2024 has to offer in neighbours Serbia. I'm expecting Slovenia to be able to take advantage of that and provoke Serbia into a couple of rash decisions and a red card. And unfortunately for Serbia, I am predicting in this one a 2-1 win for the opposition Slovenia. For Serbia, there's been a little bit of fallout after the England game. Captain Dusan Tadic complained in the media directly after the game that he didn't start. As such, it's quite hard to know really where we're going to line up with team-wise. I think Tadic would ordinarily have been a certainty to start in this particular game, but if you're having arguments and calling out your manager in the media, it's quite hard to see that him giving you much in the way of faith. As such, we may very much see Serbia set up as they did against England, a 3-5-2, with a couple of little changes in the side. Most importantly of all, uncertain about what mental state they'll be in. Despite all the positives that came from the England game in terms of their competitiveness and unexpected competitiveness, I think it's fair to say, they have managed to fall into the familiar Serbian trap of shooting themselves into the foot with a bit of mental weakness one way or another.